Hey everybody, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the economy, but some other things as well. This particular video is going to be touching on a few topics that aren't necessarily related to each other, just various topics that I think needed to be addressed. So as far as the economy, I don't know if you guys are aware of the fact that in my previous video, I talked about the amount of credit card debt in the United States, and I don't remember what the number was, but it was really high. And what it turns out, one report that I just came across, CNBC, which I don't really like or trust any corporate news, but CNBC just the same, they said that when they did a poll just recently here, they said buying groceries with a credit card was the number one expense on credit cards currently. In other words, the number one thing they're used for currently, right now, is people buying groceries. People buying groceries with their credit card proves one thing. They're broke. They're broke. They're not really even capable to live paycheck to paycheck, because this proves that when they get their paycheck, they're already broke and they don't have money to buy groceries with. So right now, groceries are being purchased off of credit cards. That's insane, especially with the interest that is charged on credit. That's just insane. But that proves it's just one small area, but it shows that how bad our economy is currently. The economy is in worse shape than what people tell you. They want to spin it and say things are fine, and they are saying things are fine. They are not fine, not even close. So, number one use for credit cards is purchasing groceries. 28% of all rent and mortgage payments, utilities, are being paid with a credit card. That just blows my mind. I can't even fathom paying your rent or your utility bills with a credit card. People are broke. The economy is ready for a hardcore collapse. I mean, it's going to happen. We keep saying this. I keep putting it in videos. I know other preppers who are doing the same, friends of mine that are trying to warn people. We are headed down a very, very bad road. Right now, it's like it was, if you think about it, back in 2007, everybody was saying things were great and they're buying houses and selling real estate and all this stuff. And then just a matter of months later, the 2008 crash happened. And all those real estate purchases and stuff, they couldn't be paid. And people went bankrupt. I mean, unbelievable numbers of bankruptcies. Right now, there are new home projects, buildings, that are being built, that were built, that are on hold, and they can't finish the building because they're broke. Okay? There are huge corporate buildings and commercial properties all over the place, nice places that are abandoned because they went bankrupt and they're broke. There is no money and the economy is going to take a hardcore crash. All right. Now, I had put out a video here just recently, I don't know, 5-6 days ago, and I told you guys about the flooding that was taking place in Nebraska. And I asked you guys to pray, and many of you did. I received a tremendous amount of response from people that were praying, and folks that have my email that were emailing me and talking to me about it. And bless their hearts, some of them were checking up on me on a regular basis just to see if my family and I were still okay, because they know we're in Kansas. And I had made a comment that, if the flooding got to a certain stage, it could overflow the banks at the nuclear power plant, and that could be a really bad thing. I'm assuming, because I can't find any response to the fact that it did, that it didn't. So they dodged the bullet on that. I believe it's prayer, and thank God for that. I believe it's prayer. But the flooding is not over, not by a long shot. First of all, if you go on YouTube or any of the major news medias and you look at the aerial views of flooding, it is far more than Nebraska. We're talking Wisconsin, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska. I can't remember. There was another one. It doesn't matter. Anyway, numerous states. And here's the problem. Cattle are dying like crazy. Many cattle died during the floods. Many animals, farms were just destroyed. Okay, this is the breadbasket, right? The Midwest. Farms were destroyed in this flooding. Okay, there is going to be bankruptcies galore because of this. Not only that, food prices are going to skyrocket. They're going to go up a lot. Maybe not skyrocket, but you're going to see some serious increases. We've already been seeing higher food prices. My wife and I shop at Aldi because the prices are so much lower than Walmart, and the food's actually better, for real. We won't shop at a Walmart. But we pay, substantially less by shopping at Aldi than we do at Walmart. So we quit shopping at Walmart years ago. But at any rate, the point is, we are seeing, even at Aldi, we are seeing prices go up on a regular basis. Okay? So with the crops that are going to be damaged, all the produce from all the farms in these Midwest states is gone. It's wiped out. And a lot of cattle are wiped out. So the meat and produce prices are going to go up considerably because of this flood. Now, here's the deal. The flooding's not over. Okay? Our streets, we just yesterday, for the first time since I talked to you guys in the last video, were able to drive down our road. We have been parked several blocks out on a major highway. We've had to park our car out there just to be able to get to our vehicle because we couldn't bring it down our road. I live in a town with dirt streets, and the mud was about a foot, maybe a little over that, maybe a foot and a half deep. And our car wouldn't do it. My truck wouldn't do it. Many trucks in town wouldn't do it. So we just yesterday, for the first time, got to drive down our road. We have major construction that's supposed to take place on this house because we have some people coming to stay with us, and we have to have one whole wall on the side of our home completely gutted and rebuilt, drywalled, and then new siding on the outside of the house and everything. And it couldn't be done, and still hasn't been done because of the muddy roads. Well, with all this flooding, like I said, food prices are going to go up. But spring rains are coming. We are supposed to have rain tonight, tomorrow, the next day, 100% chance. Okay, for the next 3 days. The Midwest storms are coming in. It's spring, okay? And it's going to start raining like crazy. Well, the Midwest is already flooded. Many states, bad flooding. And now we're going to get rain on top of that. So it's not over. And the Midwest really needs prayers, especially, like I said, Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. They really, really need your prayers. There are people losing everything because of this flooding. So I wanted you to make you aware of that. One of the other things I wanted to say, with the economy as bad as it is, now listen, I'm just me, right? I'm just a nobody, just a prepper. You don't have to take my advice. I'm still going to give it. However, there'll always be the disclaimer on financial advice. But I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm telling you what I'm doing. And I'm telling you what at least I know at least one other prepper personally is doing and has pretty much said it. With the economy as bad as it is, you do not want to put money in the banks. If you have money in the bank, I would take it out. This is a personal opinion. This is what I would do. I personally would take the money out of the bank. I would get a safe, and it would go into a safe, a high-quality safe in your home. Banks fail. We saw that in 2008. over and over and over again. The FDIC was worthless. They couldn't pay anybody. Their loans weren't insured for nothing. So it's going to happen again. We're headed for that again. And people will lose their money. Banks will fail. Doors will close. You will never get your money out. Paper money is worthless to begin with, but if it's all you got, it's all you got. But you won't get it out. So with that said, I still want to touch on, I put notes down here. I still want to touch on precious metals. People don't want to hear it. I don't care. I'm going to say it anyway. Silver and gold. Listen to me, folks. Every major bank globally is hoarding, and you can Google this. You can find this yourself. I'm not giving you guys links to everything. Some people need to do their own footwork. Banks around the world are hoarding silver and gold. Why? Why would the banks be hoarding silver and gold? Because it's money. It's the only real money. It's the only real money for the last 5,000 years. Okay? That's what they're doing. And if the biggest banks in the world and the largest firms in the world that are investment firms are hoarding silver, as I've told you before, there's a reason for it. They know what's coming. And if they're doing it, don't you think you should be? And please don't tell me you can't afford it. Stop going to Starbucks. Stop going to McDonald's. Stop going to some drive-through for your lunch every day. Pack a lunch. Quit buying your lattes through the drive-through and just put a cup of coffee in a thermos or something and take it with you. Okay? If you wanted to get silver, you can get silver. Most of you can. I'm not being a jerk. Most of you can. Okay? My wife and I are not well off. Not by a long shot. And we can afford to purchase it. You can afford to purchase it. Cut back. Stop going to the movies. Stop going out to dinner. Use your money wisely. Okay? With silver being whatever the price is right now, I don't even know. I think it's like $15, I don't know, $17. I don't know what it is, an ounce. It doesn't matter. It's still cheap. So it's very affordable. So if the largest banks in the world and the precious metal companies are hoarding precious metals, you should be thinking about it as well. If you don't hold it in your hand, I said this in the last video, not last video, but when I talked about the economy. If you can't hold it in your hand, you don't own it. If all you have is paper, it's worthless. Paper dollars are worthless. And when things crash, they're going to be toilet paper, fire starter. Okay? So if you purchase silver and gold through some investment company, all right, some online deal, and you purchase silver and gold and they send you a certificate saying you've got whatever, $5,000 of whatever, silver or gold on account because you spent $5,000 with them and you bought that much silver or gold and you have it on account, you don't own it. I'm glad you feel good. Oh, I bought gold today. I got silver and it's being held in a special vault for me. Dream on. You will never see it when the economy crashes. You won't get it. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. It's just that simple. If you're going to buy silver or gold, buy it and buy a safe and keep it in a safe. Do not put it in a safe deposit box in your bank, because when the bank closes its doors and they take a bank holiday, you will lose everything and you will not get it back. Okay? Don't put your money in the bank. Don't put silver and gold in the bank. Get a safe, bury it in your floor, make a fake wall, do whatever you got to do and hide it, and keep your precious metals in a safe that can't be taken away from you. Okay. One other thing that I wanted to touch on that I haven't touched on before in this manner. This situation with the flooding, I can't say nobody saw it coming because the Army Corps of Engineers and Park Services and stuff, they started letting water out of the dams and out of the reservoirs before the flood took place with all the snow, because they knew it was going to happen. So they lowered those levels, but they didn't lower them well enough, and it didn't do well enough. And of course, the dam broke and water everywhere. So with that said, with prepping, where prepping's involved, these poor people, even if they had prepped till the cows came home on the farms, they still lost everything. They would have lost all their preps, everything in this floods, because they had to be emergency evacuated. Now, in an emergency evacuation, would have their bug out bags done them any good? Yeah, I think they would, depending on what they had in them, depending on what they knew to do. Like I said before, your bug out bag is your number one thing that you need to have. I know it's only 3 days, but it's not just the food and water, okay? These people were evacuated to emergency shelters. They're going to have their food and water, but there's clothing there. If you have half a brain, there is medical records, mortgage records, dental records, all the big documents that are your very most important documents that you keep somewhere safe in your home. Those documents, if they were printed out or scanned and put on a thumb drive and in that bug out bag, they would still have that information. Think of the loss that people go through in a flood. I don't know if you guys pay enough attention, but if you ever see it, homes are gone. They're devastated. There is nothing. In a tornado, there is nothing left. Okay? So what I want to touch on again is having your documents scanned. It is very, very, very important, and I cannot overstate it. Scanning your driver's license, your bank records, your mortgage records, your doctor and dental records, anything that you have record of that is important, your vehicles, everything. You need to scan those things and get them onto a thumb drive or print them out, put them in some kind of watertight bag, and get them into your bug out bag. So when there's an emergency like these people had to evacuate, you can literally grab the bag, kiss your house and everything you own goodbye, because you are going to lose it in a flooding situation. But at least you have your records and you have some supplies with you in your bug out bag. I think that is extremely important, and I really wanted to stress that. The document situation is very, very important. Scan your documents. A scanner doesn't cost nothing. Listen, you can buy a scanner for $100. You can probably buy one cheaper than that. Scan your documents and put them on a thumb drive, okay? Get them onto a thumb drive. And then maybe put them on a couple of different thumb drives. Give your spouse one. Put one in your car somewhere. Hide one in your car or put it in your glove box. They do make thumb drives that you can purchase that take a password to even be able to open. Do that. And get all your documents on these drives so that in a true emergency, if you lose everything, you still have your records. Well, my kids had their last shots, blap. Or, my house was paid off. Here's a copy of my mortgage, my title and everything, my cars, my vehicles. You need those things. Trying to get them after the fact is going to be a colossal pain in the butt, period. It's never convenient. So please scan your documents and get them onto a thumb drive. Okay, that's it. Those are the only things I really wanted to touch on today. But again, it's just trying to drive home the fact that the economy is in terrible condition. You need to prep. Okay? Food, water, medical supplies, documents, okay? All these things you need to put away. You need to get some preps going, because when it gets bad, it's going to get bad fast. I'm still going to stress and suggest you buy a handgun, buy an AR-15, buy a hunting rifle if that makes you feel better, so the big black ugly gun, that scary gun, doesn't cause you great fear. Buy a shotgun. Get a 22 so that you can kill rabbits or something. Get something. Don't use a 22 for self-defense. I mean, that's the last thing on the planet I would use for self-defense. It's not that it wouldn't do. But you could put a lot of rounds on a 22 into a person, and they're still going to come after you and probably beat the crap out of you until they bleed out. So you don't want to do that. 22 is basically for food, rabbit, small game, little stuff. If you're super close to a deer and you place that round just right, you might be able to take out a deer. Unlikely, in my opinion, but I've heard it can be done. So, prep, people. That's what the channel's about, and that's what I will always stress. I hope you found the video informative and helpful. I hope there's some suggestions there that you guys are willing to take. And I guess that's it until we talk to you again. You guys take care. Please like, subscribe, the whole routine. Tell your friends about the channel if you like it. I will again stress I have my Patreon channel is available if you guys feel like supporting this channel, and you go to Patreon and you do that. There's other documents that are there. I put up a couple of documents every week to help with things like records, like I'm talking about. There's different things on my Patreon channel. So if you want to help support this channel, that would be greatly appreciated. So that's it. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for all the prayers, and thank you for contacting me to see how my family and I are doing. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.